Okay, so when last we left off, we had created a document in Photoshop, and we had taken and copied, or we cropped out, we had cropped down to the same resolution size an image from a photo called Desert Sand and a photo called Sky. And we had selected all, copied that information, and pasted it into our new document, so that we had two more layers in here in our layers window, and we had dragged layer 2 from the top of layer 1 and dragged it down below layer 1. Okay, right now let's just go ahead and save our document so we have it named properly for future use. So we're going to go File, Save As, okay, and you're going to put it into your Documents folder. Inside of your folder, inside a folder that we're going to call, so I'm going to create a new folder inside there, and we're going to call this one Desert Project. And once we have Desert Project, we're going to make sure our name is our username, and we're going to call this one Desert. Okay, and we click Save. In terms of compatibility, we're just going to click OK. Maximum compatibility. Now, because we had already copied the information from these two photos, we can just close them down. We don't need them anymore. So don't save, don't save. Okay, so now we're left with our existing document here. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to take what information from layer 1 and delete a portion of it so that we can see the layer below it. Okay, so the first select tool that we learned was Command A, which selects the entire outline of a specific layer. Okay, so I'm going to click in layer 1, and to deselect we hit Command D, or select deselect. So select all, deselect. Okay, so what I'm going to use, instead of selecting everything, I only want to select the sky. Okay, and the tool that we use to do this is called the Magic Wand tool. Okay, so when you click over here, it's the 4th tool down. If you don't see it, click and hold, and you'll see that there's a hidden menu. One is the Quick Selection tool. So if it was up there, the Quick Selection tool, just click and hold, click on the Magic Wand tool, and your default tolerance probably is 32. Okay, so when I click with the Magic Wand tool, what it does is it selects areas of like color. So in this case, this light blue color, it's selecting the value of that color. Okay, but the tolerance is such that it can't select the entire sky because this is too light down here and this is too dark up here. So if I want to allow for it to get a little bit lighter blue and a little bit darker blue rather than just this value blue, I would up the tolerance to, let's say, 90. Okay, and now when I click or deselect, Command D, and then select, it selected the entire sky. Vice versa, if I went down and I set the tolerance at 10 and I click, notice that it selects less of it because it's being very specific about the value of color that it would like to select. Okay, now you can still select all of the sky. I could select it, hold the Shift key down, select a little more, keep holding the Shift key down and adding to that selection layer, but that becomes quite tiresome and you might miss a piece. So again, I suggest if you have an area like this blank sky, you want to select most of it, just use set your tolerance at a higher amount and then it'll select the entire sky. So once something is selected, you can do something with it. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to delete the graphic information that's in there. Okay, so here we have layer 1. We have the sky selected in that layer, and I'm just going to hit the delete key. Okay, and you notice in layer 1, see this checkerboard pattern over here on the layers panel? This suggests that there's actually no more graphic information in there. So actually, if we even hid layer 2 by clicking on toggling the visibility, you'll see there's nothing in that layer 1 anymore. It's deleted, it's gone. And the only thing that we're seeing below it is the background. If I hide the background, again, you'll see that checkered pattern. Okay, so this ensures that there's no visual information in there anymore. Okay, so that's why when we have layer 2 visible, we can see the sky below it. Okay, So if you wanted to, because we have a little bit of wiggle room, you could actually first deselect, Command D, okay, or select deselect, and then click on the Move tool, select on layer 2, and you can drag this up a little bit because you do have some flexibility in, as part of that image is hidden. If I hide the layer 1, you can see I'm basically dragging the sky layer up and down. Okay, I can move that up so that the perspective of that sky looks a little bit different. It looks like the clouds are a little bit smaller on the horizon. I can't go too high because obviously you'll see the edge of that image. So I can bring it down and make it so that I can see this nice sort of like perspective sky in there. Okay, so that is using the Magic Wand tool. The Magic Wand tool selects areas of like color. Okay, we're going to use the Magic Wand tool again here. Here's what we're going to do. Okay, you're going to click back to layer 1. Okay, so the Magic Wand tool and the Move tool, right? The Move tool allows us to move images. So if I'm in layer 1, I can move images in layer 1. If I'm in layer 2, I can move images in layer 2. Okay, but I'm clicking layer 1, and I'm going to use my Magic Wand tool, and I'm going to click in the sky area. And again, we're selecting this blank area up here. We're not actually selecting layer 2 sky information. And I'm going to go to Select Inverse. And what this does is it makes it so that now the selection area is around all of the sand. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I want to sharpen up this edge a little bit. So I'm going to, just so you can see, I'm going to zoom in here. Okay, so the zoom tool is down here at the bottom, looks like a magnifying glass. And I'm going to deselect again, just so you can see. But see how the edge of this is sort of jagged? Okay, what we're going to try to do is smooth this out a little bit so it doesn't look like a photograph cut and pasted on top of another photograph, and it looks a little bit more seamless. Okay, so what we do is, again, make sure it's selected by clicking in the sky, and then select inverse. And that will have selected the opposite. If I zoomed out, I can see that I've selected the entire sky. So zoom out, you can either fit on screen or hit Command 0. Okay, so that I can see my whole document. But I'm going to zoom in just so that I can see what happens to the edge of this a little bit better. Okay, so once with this selected, I'm going to go to Select, Refine Edge. And I'm going to do some smoothing. So here I can see this edge now, right? What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to smooth it by clicking on this and just dragging over it. Notice that what happens is this edge starts to disappear right here, okay? It starts to, so this is with no smoothness. Oh, let me just... Let me do that again. Okay, so edge, start again, sorry. Smoothing, it's starting to disappear again a little bit. I can also add some contrast to that, and I can also shift the edge. And notice how now the edge is really starting to soften up, okay, and not look so jagged anymore, right? So I'm basically working to try to eliminate some of the edge. I can actually even also take a little bit of this radius. If I do too much, it kind of you can't really see it that much in this image, but we're going to actually just leave the radius at 0, and we're just going to work with what we have here with this. So bringing up the contrast even more, you can see it's starting to really sharpen up and get this nice sharp line there. Okay, so I put my smoothness at 25. I have a little bit of a feather at 29, which kind of softens the edge and makes it a little bit transparent. Contrast, which really divides that edge up and really sharpens it up. And then shifting the edge over helps to take it down just a little bit more. So now I've got a really nice smooth edge. Okay, it's kind of like and what we're going to do is right where it says output to, we're going to click there, and instead of selection, we're going to put layer mask. Okay, so click layer mask, boom, and then click OK. All right. So now you'll see in your layer right here, there is a new panel window being added, and this is a mask. And we're going to be talking about that later, okay? But what you've noticed now is this is a way that you can use your Magic Wand tool, okay, to select areas of light color, which in this case is nothing, it's basically blank, right? We've learned to select the inverse, to select the opposite of something, and we have also learned how to refine the edge of that selection area and create a layer mask for it. Okay, so as we move forward in this lesson, you're going to want to remember those steps, okay? To select the edge of something and refine it. Okay, so that's the end of this lesson.